India Today, we bring you an issue which has become a major headline across the world. It's happening here in India. In the course of just the past month, we've had 2 cases of mothers having babies at an age where no one thought was possible. Just yesterday, we've had news from Gorakhpur of a 67-year-old mother, and before that from Amritsar, 70-year-old parents. And my audience today has the top gynecologists, has medical students, it has the community really divided. Just because science allows it, is it also ethically correct? But before we speak to all of them, and we also have the doctor who delivered the Gorakhpur baby, Dr. Bishnoi. He's joining us from Hisar. We'll be speaking to him about why he took this choice, which is so controversial, in just a bit. First, let's just see those pictures as well of that baby. Dr. Bishnoi, if you can hear me, a lot of people, when I put this out, a lot of people said that this is unethical, it is a misuse of this technology, it's a misuse of science. Why did you feel that this was the right thing to do?
Most of the medias and the English newspaper what I read, who were Indian, from the Indian, and they have praised it a lot, and they said that one of the newspapers said 1.2 billion people of India wish for the best for the Linder Kaur and Mahendra Singh, and wish for their long life. As far as it is, there are 3 issues in it. Number 1 is the health concern of the mother. Now, definitely it is there. So, there should be a thorough medical examination. And if the female is not fit for carrying on the pregnancy, surrogacy is always the option. Second issue is multiple pregnancy now. It can be avoided by using technique of blastocyst culture.
How many such older women, that is women above 50, because 50 I believe is the accepted norm worldwide, how many women above 50 have you helped deliver? Because some people have pointed out how you know it's become a bit of a specialty, USP for you. How many such women have you helped?
Above 50, it's like more than 100. And in no case, there has been no mortality till now. And every female has had a live baby. As far as the third point is concerned.
Many people say it's unethical because these people, when a parent is 70-year-old, then they're like grandparents, and a lot of people on social media and all are asking, but they won't, by the time the child is 20, they'll be 90, so it's unfair to the child. What do you say to them?
See, we have devised a way out of this problem, and it is the arrangement in between parents and the clinic that we will appoint a guardian before the procedure, and he should be the competent, duly legal procedures would be followed, and that guardian.
I understand, and just to tell our viewers that the law is very clear. There is no age limit in India as such. You all follow, as gynecologists, you all follow guidelines which put the age about 50 is a limit, and a lot of the doctors have been telling me that they have refused lots of families because they came to them too late. Dr. Abha Majumdar, let me just start with you, because I read your paper on this where you're very critical about this practice. What is you heard Dr. Bishnoi, how would you counter that?
See, there are 3 things which come to my mind. And especially with Dr. Bishnoi saying that they can take care and there was no mortality. The surrogacy age was reduced from 45 to 35 in the last bill which was made. I mean, it's still not enacted, but the bill is there. Why was that done? There were a lot of gynecologists who sat in the panel, and they thought that a woman at 35 is better coping up with a pregnancy rather than a woman who is between 35 and 45. So that is one very pertinent question, that if you don't allow a surrogate over 35 also, because that puts her life into risk, how can we allow women older? Two is the mental strength is so much stronger than the physical strength. I mean, my 89-year-old mother says she still feels young, and if she had the strength, she would play badminton. Doesn't mean that I can throw her out because she could barely walk. So the mental strength of any woman would be, if she doesn't have a child, would want to bear a child till whatever age she lives. But that doesn't put that woman in a physical condition to be able to bear a child.
Okay, so that's the rationale, that's the logic behind it, that's a scientist explanation of it. We have someone over here who is a mother and who was lucky enough to get pregnant at 39, you said. But you just told me that you wouldn't mind continuing till 70, that you support this woman's choice because of your love for children. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. You won't believe I've started living after my pregnancy and birth of my child. I've started enjoying everything from, I can't even take that word here, but I've started enjoying my sex. Otherwise, I would not have been even enjoying that. I was always looking for that result to appear after that. So I have started enjoying my life, enjoying my baby, all the time that I spend with him.
And so you would have tried till you were 70?
Absolutely. Until death, I would say.
So your doctor is here, Dr. Shalini. Dr. Shalini, would you have helped your patient if she hadn't conceived till she was 70 or 75? Would you have helped?
I certainly would keep myself an age limit for conception not above 50, because definitely pregnancy after 50 is associated with higher complication rate. All the medical disorders like diabetes, hypertension, organic heart diseases, they all aggravate during pregnancy.
Now here's the thing, you are all saying that the problems are heart disease and diabetes and all of that. I think a lot of mothers perhaps think that these are things you can live with, and it's a calculated risk. Is that, no, you don't agree? Why is that?
I don't agree at all, because one is that you're only thinking about the mother. What about the child? I mean, how do we write the fate of this unborn child that you born to a 70-year-old mother, and think of the small little things a child enjoys. Now you enjoy with a 39-year-old mother because at 40 you're very young. Suppose you were 70, would you run with your baby? Would you wake up all night? It's all, yes, in the thought you would want to do that. But would you really be able to do that? Would the child get the care the child deserves? Why did CARA, the Adoption Resource Center, put the age bar at 90 for couples? Because they thought that parents who are older will not be able to look after their children so well. So it's very sad that even a child which is not born to a parent, just looking after the child is difficult for parents who are older. Then here the mother is also carrying the child, her life, the baby's life, and then looking after the baby.
Dr. Kaveri, you are pro-patient's choice, and all these two cases, the Amritsar case, the Gorakhpur case, have just been there. It's resulted in a lot of interest from other parents from across the world?
Yes, definitely. There have been couples who've called me globally across to find out that now since surrogacy is banned in the country international, can they come and put their embryos because they're 60, 65. However, pro-patient choice is fine, but as doctors we have the first duty is to take care of our patients' health, and especially in a field like fertility, which is not an emergency situation, we cannot overlook the fact that at 50 the maternal mortality is 6 times at 30.
So what does that mean? When you're saying mortality is 6 times, we don't hear of women dying at childbirth that much anymore. So
it's around 20 to 30, it's about 200 per 100,000 live birth. At around 49, it's about 1,209 over 100,000 live birth.
Okay.
So these are the statistics, we can't ignore them.
So Dr. Bishnoi, you've heard the startling and the concerns of the 2 gynecologists and the 3 gynecologists who've spoken over here. How would you address that?
Pardon?
How would you address their concerns about the health aspects?
These health issues, definitely it's an issue. I don't deny that. I completely agree with the learned faculty that health is an issue and they should be counseled properly before that. Risks are involved, but then it should be left to the mother's choice and it should not be imposed as a
This
law.
Gorakhpur couple, sir,
And
why is it that they were seeking help at 70 and apparently they were married for 48 years? What happened? Did they not have this technology before? Could you tell us a bit more about them?
me, yeah. See, Indian law doesn't allow adoption after 45 years of age, right? And they don't, even his brother,
You have to answer the question.
he didn't have any children for last 45, 50 years. So, as far as adoption is concerned, they were not able to adopt a child during those years which they could. There were no insurance policies covering this health, this treatment in India right now. And when these females don't have money during their middle ages, just a minute, man. This is a very point is that when you should have money for this treatment, and it's a heavyweight treatment. And if they don't have a money around 35, 40 years of age, if they arrange for that around say after 50, and or marry again, they have a second marriage.
So the circumstances, were just right. So,
Circumstance.
Poonam Mutreja,
Circumstances.
as an expert looking into this, because we're suddenly seeing two cases really, one after the other. So, is there a trend there that we're looking at? And should we be concerned?
I think we should be concerned because the trend is global. In England, there are 3 children born to 50-year-old women every week. And this, as women work more and marry later and have career, they may postpone having a child and may think about having a child at a later age. While it's every woman's right, but I do have a concern because the fact that there are approximately 3,000 clinics in India, while the registration is only 300, why are gynecologists or IVF specialists not registering their clinics? Why aren't they giving all the data? And I find it very hard to believe that 100% pregnancies are safe. We know that when women get older, pregnancies are not safe. And also there is the risk of preterm birth of the child. And while we know that globally there is a study of the Lancet which shows that 101 women who had babies at age 50 through IVF, but unless they are cared for very carefully, it can be risky business. So therefore, I am very also surprised that the doctor here, Dr. Bishnoi, says the second option for women is surrogacy. What about adoption in a country where we have so many orphan children and unwanted children? Why don't we make those children wanted and adopt? And thirdly, I have a problem with motherhood being mixed up with womanhood. Just because you're a woman, you're only, and it is not compulsory that you have to have a child. And therefore, this IVF puts a pressure on women who do not wish to have a child and did not have a child till a late age. It puts pressure, so there has to be very compelling reasons, and there should not be coercion. My fear is that soon there will be coercion on women to have more children, and maybe as an afterthought to have more sons in a country where women have very little autonomy.